Jan, ich bin's wieder, Kesu Naihara, hier mit meinem Let's Play von Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Und wir wurden eiskalt aus unserem Büro rausgeschmissen, nur weil sich da ein Mord abgespielt hat und wir nicht die leitenden Staatsanwälte sind. Egal, wir steigen trotzdem mal in Edgeworths Kopf rein. So, wir verbinden Use the Master Key und Master Key was stolen miteinander. Und Logik! Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal! I mean, sir! You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow! Nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth! You saw that contradiction like a pro! I had totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you I remember it now. You're right! It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking it up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Okay. Wunderschön. Wunderschöne Information. Jetzt können wir uns ja mal die Tür angucken. Weil wenn das wahr ist, dann muss sein Büro offen sein. The door is locked tight. Haha! Hey, I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Ah, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Ich liebe diesen Sarkasmus von Edgeworth. Aber dementsprechend gibt's hier jetzt einen Widerspruch, was diese Tür angeht. Nämlich die Informationen zu Portman's office. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird was said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh, you know you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means what, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. Nämlich... Genau, die Fingerabdrücke auf den Türknauf. The prints on the door knob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on this door knob. So only two people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose prints should also be on this doorknob? Na, of course die von Maggie, weil sie sollte ja die Tür aufschließen. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Haha! Endlich Fortschritt. What have we here? Aha! Können wir uns mal unten umgucken. Und wir sehen, da ist ein Stück Papier. What is it? Is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Buddy. It looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Okay. Schön. Und jetzt noch das. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about the game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this. Und wir haben den Basketballkorb. Investigation complete. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth! As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. Wie wir schon vom Intro wissen. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it! That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me too! I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. Wer bist du, Dr. Doom? That is anything but logical. Wie ich jetzt auf Dr. Doom kam, weil wegen, logical sense. My ninja sense is tingling. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on Truth's door. Ooh. Das klingt episch. March 14, 12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letters, sir. Alright, let me take a gender edit. Pass it here. Alter! Junge! Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Ah! Wirf die Akten doch nicht so rum wie ein Basketball! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jack Sportsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? Oh, jetzt bringt auch noch von Karma ins Spiel. The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this insistent chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for prosecutions, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that, too, will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Also dann. Jetzt wollen wir doch mal sehen, wie du dich jetzt schlägst, jetzt wo wir dich in der Mangel haben. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on, with evidence. So, rebootal! Mr. Portman's rebootal. Wunderschön. How may I ask? Press. Unfortunately, I believe I have already shown how early. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Of course! You claim to have no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Haha, alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well then, I propose that you use this to open my door. Na, was hat der benutzt? Lass uns erstmal hier Dingsbeweise gucken. Na, wie ist der wohl reingekommen? Master Key. I believe you were able to open my office door, with the master key, no less. Wait! Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Nämlich unsere gute Maggie. You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forget my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? Haha, erwischt! What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right! They do slide out pretty easily! Furthermore, you then used one of our other things to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? Ja, was wohl? Der Basketballkorb. What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusual strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Ah! Ha ha ha! That's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you threw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Okay, was hat denn jetzt noch zu sagen? No, you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. Denkst du? So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who's the one truly covered in slime here. Wunderschön. Rebootal, Conjectures Rebootal. So, jetzt wollen wir doch mal gucken. I was in my room the entire time. Bist du sicher? Ich meine, wir haben das hier gefunden. That was a lie. What are you talking about? How was that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. Auf den Theme habe ich gewartet. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Hehehehe. Und was wäre wohl dieser Beweis als sein eigenes Büro? I had your door dusted for prints. My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob you touched. Ah! Er wird hier richtig fertig gemacht, das gefällt mir. Further, all of the prints on my office doorknob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time to give up your charade? You know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Fate found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was not on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Fate to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said, when you had the gun to my back. No one gets away with committing murder in my office. Okay, was gibt's zu lachen? And that's what's so funny, pal. Well, that looks of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up, you're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's also circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Pops! Nicht mitten in meine Aufnahme, goddammit! Wunderschön. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left in there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. Now that's just a flat-out lie! There's no way you didn't notice a note that size! Ah, but you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth! Back me up here, sir! Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Es ist schön, sein What the fuck face zu sehen. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you'd say? I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Okay, jetzt fischt er auch noch ein Alibi raus. Das schauen wir uns im nächsten Part an. Das war's von meinerseits und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. See ya, guys.